Hello, Lord aka Megabytes. In today's video, we're going to be covering a deck that I've actually talked about quite a few times here on the channel. I even played it to the Louisville Regional Championships. However, the deck lost a couple key cards like Double Turbo Energy after rotation, but has kind of been revived a little bit thanks to Crispin really being able to kind of power this deck up pretty quickly with that. And with everybody talking about the new Mega Evolution cards, mostly Mega Venusaur EX seeing a huge play rate, this deck actually just completely cooks Mega Venusaur EX in my testing and stuff. So let's get into the deck. Already here at that deck list, Iron Thorns EX. We're only playing 4 Pokemon in the deck, 4 copies of that Iron Thorns EX ability. Initialization, as long as Pokemon's in the active spot, Pokemon with a rule box in play, both yours and your opponents have no abilities except for future Pokemon. And nobody is really playing any sort of future Pokemon right now, unless you're playing Iron Thorns. Has an attack Volt Cyclone for 140 damage for 3 energy. You move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. So being able to kind of move the energies to a benched Iron Thorn is pretty helpful. For a supporter count, we got 4 Boss, 4 Arven, and 4 Crispin. Like I said, that's going to be the card that kind of revived this deck, in my opinion. Losing Double Turbo Energy was pretty hard for this deck, but Crispin being able to search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards of different types, reveal them, put one in your hand, attach that one to one of your Pokemon, and then shuffle your deck is really helpful. Being able to just kind of shove 2 energies, like go first, attach for turn, next turn go Crispin, and then get 2 more attached, and then you are ready to go. We're also playing 3 copies of Judge, 3 Research, 2 Penny, 1 Giovanni's Charisma, and then for the items, we got 4 Crushing Hammers. I absolutely love this card. Hit heads, you discard energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon. Nothing feels better than hitting a heads-on Crushing Hammer. 4 Pokemon Catcher, same thing. If you hit heads, you can switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon while they're active. 4 Pokegear, 2 Techno Radar, 1 Energy Search, Prime Catcher for the ace spec of choice. I could honestly even see something like Secret Box being pretty helpful in this deck. However, we don't really have a lot to discard a lot of the times in our hand to make Secret Box worth it, I feel like. So Prime Catcher is kind of the one I've been playing the most of. 3 Future Booster Energy Capsules, 1 Techno Machine Devolution, 1 copy of Techno Machine Turbo Energize, 3 Team Rocket's Watchtower, being able to shut off any sort of normal type Pokemon, their abilities in play. And the reason for this is this deck really struggles into the Raging Bolt matchup. So being able to kind of slow down our opponent, shutting off that Jewel Seeker is going to be very helpful, and Fan Rotom as well. So sticking a early Team Rocket's Watchtower is very helpful into those Fan Rotom and Jewel Seeker decks. So it's pretty helpful in that regard. For the energy count, we got 6 Lightning, 2 Grass, 2 Fire, and 1 Dark Energy. Realistically, we only actually need Lightning Energy in this deck. However, in order for Crispin to work, we need something else to be able to grab and attach to our Pokemon. So that's why we're playing 2 Grass, 2 Fire, and 1 Dark. You can play other energy if you want, but these are the ones that I've been using. So let's get into that gameplay. Already here at that gameplay here at the coin flip, it is going to be Tails. So we are going to want to go first with this deck. You can go second if you want, so you can actually use a supporter. However, I allowed it to go second here because I was hoping to maybe get off a nice, cool Turbo Energize play. But going first is also really good. You don't really care which one you go with. Going second, you can get like a nice turn 1 Judge, which can be pretty helpful. Stick your opponent with a pretty bad hand at times. But we're going to have a nice fat 3 mulligans there, which is going to be kind of rough. But we're going to get an Iron Thorns in the active spot. Going to be ready to start off this game here. Our opponent going to be able to start off with Gimmighoul, it looks like. So we're playing against Goldango. This is a great matchup for Iron Thorns, actually. And with kind of the Lunatone and Solrock package actually being out now, a lot of people have been playing Goldango. And like I said, Iron Thorns just kind of cooks Goldango. A lot of the decks that people are playing lately, Iron Thorns just has a really good time into. Dragapult's a little tough sometimes, but still very doable with Techno Machine and De-Evolution and stuff being in the deck. But we're going to go Techno Radar and Techno Machine Turbo Energize. Techno Radar here, going to discard a energy here. Going to get 2 Iron Thorns EXs. Just going to bench 1 of them. We don't need to bench 2. We're going to go Turbo Energize, attach the Grass energy to the Iron Thorns, and then power up our benched Iron Thorns with a Lightning and a Fire energy. And then over to our opponent's side, we're going to be able to shut off that coin bonus ability entirely and their Genesect as well. So no searching out for all these crazy Goldangos and everything like that. And with cards like Canceling Clone not really being in the format anymore, there's not really a whole lot to kind of shut off Iron Thorn's ability, which is pretty nice. So that's pretty helpful. They're going to go Make It Rain, just discarding 1 energy for 50 damage, which, like I said, isn't too great for them, unfortunately. But I'm in this pretty interesting spot. I could Arven here, but I could also just Penny and pick up the damaged Iron Thorns, shove the other Iron Thorns in the active spot, attach the Capsule, attach the energy, and then being able to go Volt Cyclone, hit for 160, and then move an energy to my benched Iron Thorns. And the reason I actually chose to do this was because I wanted to heal the 50 damage so my opponent couldn't just kind of have it, which they had Energy Search Pro in hand. So thankfully the Penny play was the right choice. However, now they're in a position where they can actually just knock out our active Iron Thorns, the one we have currently, which is not great, but we're gonna have to see. Maybe they choose just kind of hold on to a couple energies or something. We'll have to see what they decide to piece together here. Attach the Dark Energy to that Monkey Dory. So Adrenaline Brain going to be coming out here, moving 3 damage counters from the active Goldengo to our Iron Thorns EX. Make It Rain, going to be able to discard a bunch of energies, 200 actually. Damage going to be going to that Iron Thorns, discarding 4 energy for it. So we're in a pretty interesting spot now. We still have another Iron Thorns. We got the Crushing Hammer. We're going to hit Tails on it, unfortunately for us. But we're just going to hit him with a Judge, discard, get all those energies back in the deck, just saying, hey, you don't have it. It's fine. Attach the other Fire Energy. We're going to try to just stall for a second, but we end up whiffing. The ideally plan was to pull off the Monkey Dory and force them to retreat out of it, discarding the Dark Energy off of their Monkey Dory. But that did not happen, unfortunately. So our opponent here going to be able to just get some more Gimme Ghoul in play, going to be able to Adrenaline Brain, move some damage counters around. But I have Arven in hand, which is going to be pretty nice, so I can actually get some more energies here and start applying pressure again. Actually, potentially being able to take the knockout if I grab Future Boost Energy Capsule as well. And then just grabbing a Lightning Energy to be able to attack with this Iron Thorns. They're going to hit for 100 damage here. So 130 on our Iron Thorns. We actually top deck the Lightning Energy, so I don't even need to grab it off of Arven, which is going to be super nice. But that was the play, was going to be Arven, Energy Search, plus Future Boost Energy Capsule. But I actually am going for Techno Machine De-Evolution, setting up a play being like, hey, you're not going to be able to get there. You have 1 card in hand, and I'm going to discard the Dark Energy, so now you can't Adrenaline Brain or anything. But, like I said, they had Jamming Tower in play, so the Techno Machine Evolution actually gets to stay in the active spot on the Iron Thorns, because it doesn't get discarded because of that Jamming Tower, which is pretty helpful. So I should have grabbed Future Boost Energy Capsule, but it wouldn't have actually mattered because I would have been doing more damage. So Techno Machine De-Evolution just felt like a better play, because if I can get a Stadium, I can bump the Jamming Tower and then use Techno Machine De-Evolution to KO the Goldengo in the active spot, and not have to use the Volt Cyclone attack again. But like I said, we'll have to see. We kind of both have some pretty bad hands. I did end up top decking Crispin, which is pretty huge. They actually put 2 cards to the top with Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking. So the play here is definitely going to be Crispin. So we're going to get both those energies here. Going to be able to attach that Lightning Energy to the Iron Thorns in the active, attach the Grass Energy to the bench one, and then moving that Fire Energy to the benched Iron Thorns here. Going to take 2 prizes, knocking out that Goldengo EX. Get a Pokegear and Team Rocket's Watchtower off the prizes. Like I said, we're in a pretty good spot here. They're going to go Goldengo EX in the active spot and then just pass turn. Not really a whole lot they can do here, unfortunately. I'm going to go Pokegear, getting a Research. I'm actually going to just allot to leave the Jamming Tower in play. There's not really a reason to play the Watchtower or anything, because they don't have any sort of normal type Pokemon that I really care about, except Blood Moon. But Iron Thorn shuts off that ability too, so it doesn't matter too much. And now we're just kind of chasing down an energy here. I'm thinking about Penny picking up the active Iron Thorns, which is the play here. Just kind of healing all the damage and then attaching the Lightning Energy to the benched Iron Thorns. I do have Techno Machine De-Evolution still in hand, but I use the Watchtower to bump the Jamming Tower. Kind of the idea was if they have another Jamming Tower in play, or another Jamming Tower in their deck, they'll bump the Watchtower with it probably. If not, it's okay. We have Techno Machine De-Evolution in hand now, so we could kind of afford to bump it. But that's why we chose not to bump it earlier in the game, was just because there wasn't really a reason to. Our opponent here just trying to piece together a comeback, getting 3 energies in the hand, actually. Going to be able to make it rain for 150 here. Now, I don't have, unfortunately, any sort of like Penny or anything like that. So I could Giovanni's Charisma if I really wanted to, but it just doesn't feel like it makes sense. There's not really any reason to attack right now, or to use a supporter right now. So we're just going to Volt Cyclone, take the knockout, get 2 prizes here. And now I have another energy in hand. If not, I could have Arven, use, energy search or anything like that to find my way into another energy. But alas, not too big of a problem. We're going to be able to Void Cyclone, taking out the Gimme Ghoul here. Going to be able to put an energy to our benched Iron Thorns, taking a prize card. But our opponent concedes. They got nothing left. They can't use Blood Moon or Saluna if they have it or anything like that. Really being able to just kind of completely shut our opponent out of the game. They managed to be able to take 2 prizes off of us, which is actually something that Gholdengo kind of struggles with sometimes into the Iron Thorns matchup, being able to actually get prizes. But after they kind of got those first 2 prizes, we were able to kind of stabilize the game and really being able to kind of punish them, for the rest of the game. So let me know what you guys think of Iron Thorns EX. Kind of a cheese deck. It really hasn't been around too much since Double Turbo rotated, but I think Iron Thorns has a spot in the meta, and I think it could make a pretty big comeback with Crispin being in the deck now. And also, like I said, with everybody kind of playing Gholdengo with Lunatone and Solrock and the Mega Venusaur stuff and things like that, I think there's a possibility. Your Gardevoir matchup's a little more finicky without, like, things like Lost City or anything like that, but still very doable. Let's get into that outro. All we're just going to go over today's video. If you guys enjoy the content I've been making stuff for here on the channel, definitely make sure to leave a like, smash the subscribe button. We're getting real close to 1K subs. Trying to piece together a cool 1K subscriber type giveaway or something like that. So we'll have to kind of see what that looks like when we get a little closer to 1K. We're at like 953 and 954 at the time of me recording this video. So we're getting real close. But also make sure to put the deck list in the description below, ready for copy paste into TCG Live. But that's going to do it for today's video. So I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!